Hello, good evening. It's my pleasure to have us this evening. You're welcome to the month of December Public Service HR Mentorship Series, the first edition in the month of December. It's my pleasure to have us here. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Dr. Bolabo Omoni Okudero, your regular host on this wonderful platform where we come together to learn, where we come together to share idea. And as usual, thank you for for those emojis. As usual, you are welcome to the platform where knowledge is key. Thank you so much. So we will start right away. We will not waste time. The guru that we have brought on board today will do justice to that topic. But before we go into that, let's quickly look at it's my pleasure. I'm so delighted to have us here. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Public Service HR Mentorship Series, where we shape HR and then we elevate the public service. And don't forget that the more the HR is shaped, the more we shaped HR, the more we shape other cadres, we are going to give the best of services in the Lagos State government. You are all welcome. So let me quickly say one or two things before we delve into today's business. Don't forget that tomorrow, 2026 promotion oral interview we commenced. It's starting tomorrow, and many of us will be participating. I will be participating too. So I want us to, so that we will, I just want to say one or two things. I want to say that tomorrow, please try as much as possible. Let's get to the venue as early as possible. Let's get to the venue as early as possible. Then let's dress officially. Yes, let's dress officially to the venue. Make sure you put on your suit, your skirt suit. For men, if you are wearing black shoes, let your belt also be black, Don't wear suit that will carry colors that will attract attention. Let's wear official colors. You can put on your blue. You can put on your.
Don't wear pastor's coat.
You can wear. You can
I'm
wear.
not connect.
You can wear your black suit, navy blue. Dark gray, not yellow color suit, not yellow color, not red color. Please, let's be mindful of the color we are putting on tomorrow. Also, I want us to comport ourselves tomorrow at the venue. At the venue, let's comport ourselves. And the last time I gave a tip how to conquer fear when you get into the room. When you get into the room, it's possible for us to fidget. It's possible for us to look at the panelists, and then we'll develop field. But one of the ways to come quick out of that condition is to please, I want to say that take deep breath, okay, like 3 times. You breathe in deeply and you breathe out. You breathe in and you breathe out. You breathe in and you breathe out. Okay, so I want us to take that what's it called? That opportunity to deal with any form of fear that can in any way come upon us tomorrow. And then I want to also say that Public Service HR Mentorship Series will be 1 year old in January 2026, January 1st, 2026, 1 year old. And we are planning, we wish to have a physical session to celebrate this anniversary. So new initiatives will definitely be unfolded that day. We are planning to have the big wigs in the service invited. We want to have physical session. The committee have been set up and they are actually working seriously to get that day a reality. And I pray that God will help us and bring it to reality. So you see, this is a platform where we come together, we learn, but the real mentorship of it now will be unfolded that day, because we have tested the water and we are seeing that the water is good for drinking, is good for swimming, is good for so many things to achieve. Okay, so we want a situation where we will come together and we will begin to do what this platform is. The primary purpose of this platform is to mentor those who are ready to be mentored in the service. We want to mentor. We want to rub minds together. We want to pour what we have known over the years and see people that are coming behind us. By the time we are preparing the stage for them to come on, it will be seamless succession plan. That's what we want to do. We want to have people that will stand tall among their colleagues, among their contemporaries. That is exactly what we want to do here. So come January, by the grace of God, the information, the other thing that we need to know will be unfolded as we are on the platform. So many things will now be real. I will be doing so many things on the platform so that we will know when the program will come up. But we are looking at the first week in January, and then we'll also be looking for people that want to partner with us. We want to see how we can get this program rich enough to have the big weeks in service to be in attendance to grace the occasion. So it will be my pleasure to have you on board, to have you support the program, to have you, bring people that can be of interest to that program. So let's stop at this stage for now, while we will continue the conversation on the platform. And then at this stage, I want to use this opportunity to introduce our facilitator for today, and then Olaiton will take over from there. Our facilitator for today is someone that so dear to my heart, is someone that I hold in high esteem. And I'm very sure by the time she's taking charge of this session, you will know what I'm actually talking about. And this person is no other than Mrs. Bangbola Clara Adenike. Mrs. Clara Adenike Bangbola is a seasoned economist. Can you imagine? A banker and strategic planner, and a director of planning with Lagos State, with over 2 decades of experience in economic planning, budgeting, governance reforms, monitoring and evaluation, and public sector transformation. Mrs. Bangbola holds a BSc in economics from the University of Ibadan and a master's degree in public administration, public policy from the University of Lagos.
Good evening, ma. You have the floor, ma.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm honored and delighted to be part of this great platform. Public Service HR Mentoring Series, being convened by my dear brother, a pragmatic, amazing, delectable, and amiable brother of mine, Dr. Bolabo Omoniyi Okudero. I want to appreciate you for the opportunity to be here. This I'm not taking for granted. You are highly appreciated. Let me also congratulate us, because I will be having my own oral interview too. Let me congratulate us in advance, all the eligible officers for year 2026 promotion exercise. I wish us all the best. The Lord will grant us favor.
Amen.
With retentive memory, understanding, and we will all excel in Jesus' name. I have here before me tonight the topic, the 3 major reforms in Lagos State. Emphasis on COFOG, that is classification of functions of government, in delivering year 2026 budget of shared prosperity. It is no news that year 2026 budget is tagged budget of shared prosperity. I have the outline here. I have the introduction, that is the history of the reforms, the 3 major reforms adopted in Lagos State, highlights of the reforms, linkage of the reform to COFOG, components of HEMTEF bedrock of COFOG, then linkage of COFOG with year 2026 budget of shared prosperity. Then I will conclude. The 3 major reforms between 2007 and 2011 was adopted in Lagos State to promote effective, equitable, participatory, transparency, and accountability in service delivery. And by way of information, these reforms were sponsored by DFID SPAC, that is Department for International Development, part of World Bank, under State Partnership for Accountability, Responsiveness, and Capability. One unique thing with SPAC is that they always deliver projects using technical institutionalization, that is hand-holding. They believe that by the time they exit Lagos, some people will have the knowledge to continue. That is, they believe in continuity and sustainability of processes. So the way they deploy their training is giving technical support. For some of us that were opportuned to be part of their training, you will agree with me that it's usually a very, very tedious and committed exercise of capacity building. Before the reform, we had a lot of challenges in service in terms of having a coordinated, transparent, and effective public service delivery. But with the introduction of these reforms, we are able to have a coordinated, harmonized state public service. Excuse me, please. So the three major reforms that were introduced by SPAC were policy and strategy, monitoring and evaluation reform, acronym P&S, M&E. Then we have the public finance management, acronym PFM. Then we have the public sector management, acronym PSM. All right, can you please go to the next slide? Okay, I'm done with this. Can you go to the next slide, please? So I want to talk on the first reform, that is the policy and strategy, monitoring and evaluation reform. This is coordinated by Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, and it includes institutionalized medium-term planning. Prior to this reform, we are used to just preparing an annual budget. But when SPAC came, they are like, if we continue to do an annual plan instead of a medium-term plan, then the incidence of abandonment of projects and programs will continue. A medium term can be between 1 to 5 years or between 1 to 3 years. But being a smart city that we are, Lagos State, we decided to pick the 3-year plan because each administration exits at the end of 4-year term. So we decided that the 3-year plan will be it for us. And we will use the last year of each administration for cleaning up exercise. So from that point, budget is being prepared in medium-term process. That is, it gives us the opportunity to face our programs and projects, hence reducing the incidence of abandonment of projects considerably. This particular process, please go back to that slide, Olaitan. The previous slide, please. This particular process linked the annual budget to broader fiscal strategy. It also ensures more predictability public spending, while we have a better project selection and the revenue allocation to all these sectors. There are 9 sectors. I will soon get to that. It is expected that once your envelope is given to you as a sector, you are expected to go and further disaggregate that envelope among the agencies of government that were subsumed under that sector. Yes, you are expected to go and further disaggregate your sectoral envelope among agencies of government under that sector. I will soon get to those agencies. Once you disaggregate to those agencies of government, it is also expected that the agency will further disaggregate the envelope shared to that agency intra, that is within the ministry. The first one we did under COFOG is referred to as the intersectoral allocation, while the disaggregation under MTSS is referred to as the intra, within the sector. And that takes me to the next slide. Under the policy and strategy monitoring and evaluation, we have the planning framework. We were introduced to a planning framework that guides the activities of Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget in delivering our mandate. At the apex of that planning framework is the Lagos State Development Plan, where policies are developed, and these policies will ensure that they further be entrenched in the annual budget of the state through the medium-term expenditure framework. Once we have the annual budget, see that out of the medium three-year plan, it is expected that when project and program implementation commences, you kickstart the monitoring and evaluation of programs and projects, ensuring that there is no deviation in the intent of those programs and projects, and we are getting value for money. Also, the evaluation aspect enables agencies of government to do like a scorecard to themselves. Are we on track? If we are not on track, let's go back to drawing board. And this has really helped Lagos State from losing resources. Prior to this reform, you will find out that agencies of government will continue spending money while they even know that the project will not see the light of the day. But with this process, with the monitoring and evaluation, you can quickly go back to the drawing board, know the issues, summon the problems, then continue in the implementation of the process of the project. This reform gives agencies of government opportunity to say, if you feel that the project cannot be achieved, for you to come out and say, let's abandon this project at this point, instead of continue to spend money on it and it will not see the light of the day. And also under this reform, we have what we call the performance management report, which we have not been having before. Agencies of government are expected to give reports on their performances, which will show how they have fared in that particular budgetary year. The Monitoring and Evaluation Department under Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget are in charge of that. And they ensure that the reports were collated and critically looked into to see that we are really aligning project implementation programs to the focus of government of the day. And it is the performance management report that will be taken into the subsequent MTSS review for the subsequent year. At this point, I need to define what MTSS is. MTSS is aligning the policy thrust of the state into programs and projects that are costed, prioritized, and fit within the envelope. You remember when I showed that diagram the other time. When envelope is given to you, that is the budget that has been signed into law. You are not expected to spend more than the envelope given to you. And that is why your programs, your project must be well costed, prioritized, and fit within the envelope given to you. Anything short of that is over budgeting. and it has consequences. So in ensuring that we do justice to our budgeting process, of importance for me is to mention the program-based budget, which is a paradigm shift from activity-based budget. For some of us that have been used to budget throughout this reform, you will see that for all the agencies' budget, you will have the Honorable Commissioner Office, you have the PS Office, you have the Director and HR office budget, you have the account budget, which is not speaking to the mandate of the agency. But the program-based process of developing budget is a spreadsheet of 15 maximum programs. And these programs, you will see, aside from the generic, the 6 generic programs, which you will see that cut across all agencies of government. They are administration program, finance program, accounts, human resource and training, then support service. For these 6 generic programs, you will see it in the program-based budget of all agencies. Then the remaining programs, agencies of government are at liberty to choose their core programs. But MEB will only accept core programs that aligns with the mandate of that agency. So from the slides being shown now, you will see the people, the group of offices that are under each of the generic programs. Let's turn next slide, please. Next slide, please. And that takes me to the next reform, which is the public finance management reform. This sets operational procedure for borrowing, procurement, and fiscal oversight. It improved IGR framework because we experienced a lot of reform under this particular public finance management. It was under that reform that Lagos Internal Revenue Service were given autonomy. We have the e-taxation, automated billing, which gave Lagos State an edge over all other states in the Federation with highest IGR, enabling us to venture into major infrastructure projects. This particular reform also strengthened the e-procurement process, introduced procurement process, and strengthened the e-procurement process, which enhanced transparency and investors' confidence in our financial system. Next slide, please. The key outcomes, that is deliverables, of PFM reform are the following. We now begin to experience realistic spending targets and cash backing. Spending targets in the sense that we have the budget profiling template, where agencies of government, we note when they want to spend their money on a monthly basis. And there are different types of way of spending your money. You can spend your money in a lump sum once and for all. Example of that is retreat. You can spend your money at the beginning of a quarter. You can spend it at the end of a quarter. You can spend it mid-year. So when you identify when you want to collect your money from SCO, then SCO will prepare a cash backing. And this has really helped us to reduce the incidence of getting approvals in budget. And when you get to SCO, they will say there is no money to fund your programs and projects. Also, another outcome of this PFM is adoption of a treasury single account. Prior to the reform, a particular agency can have as many as 20 different accounts. And sometimes, even SCOs are not aware of these accounts. But with the reform, we have a treasury single account that consolidates government funds into a single account for better oversight. I want to believe there is a dashboard that shows how revenues are trickling into government covers. And we have designated officers that are privy to see those dashboards. Also, the reform enhanced comparability and transparency. We have improved clarity and consistency in reported financial results. Also, there is effective blocking of financial linkages and waste of resources. With the eradication of different accounts, now that we have treasury single accounts, you will agree with me that a lot of loopholes will have been blocked and resource wastage will have been minimized. And that takes me to the last reform, which is the public service management reform. This is about us. I mean, with the staff. A lot were done to change our orientation as staff. And very prominent is the growth mindset and fixed mindset. It is under this reform that we are introduced to that, where officers were encouraged to be open-minded to innovation and creativity. That is, having a growth mindset that will lead to better performance and service delivery. Under the reform too, we have the one-stop shop, one-stop public inquiry service. This is like a complaint management process. That is, now in Lagos State, we are making complaint management an integral part of us. Now we realize that we have a client, which are the public, and they have every right to come and complain for us to deliver better service to them. And most of us, we have been saying that the chartered service in our receptions. Those officers that we see there, they are referred to as front desk officers. They receive our clients in our ministries. If anyone comes to the agency, they need anything, they will be the first point of call to attend to them. If they cannot answer that client, they will get back to the back-end officer. Back-end officers are officers that are very knowledgeable about the operations and the mandate of the agencies. So when they get in touch with the back-end officers, the issues will be resolved. And the back-end officers should be very, very pragmatic about giving solutions to whatever queries or complaints. And they should be able to give feedback to the front desk officers then from front desk officers to our clients. And you all agree with me. With the One-Stop Public Inquiry Service, acronym OSPES, we have been doing brilliantly well. Now we have built citizens' confidence in governance in Lagos State. It is under that reform also that we have the mandate mapping. Prior to that reform, there are a lot of duplication of duties in the state, overlapping issues. But this particular reform assisted the Lagos State to restructure and streamline MDA's mandates. And that has led to creation, abolition, and realignment of some of the MDAs. You will see those in my slide later. Also, we have the corporate planning, where civil servants were introduced to better way of planning and having operational plans. Not just waking up every day and say, oh, we are going to implement this program. Now we are introduced to having operation plan, which will guide what we will do in a particular year with the envelope we are given. Also, we are introduced to community of practice. Community of practice is a tool for gathering information even within the agencies of government. For example, if we are in Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, the community of practice, we ensure that every department in Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget come up with presentation on what they do. And that will be presented to the larger house. So as a staff of MEPB, you are privy to what is being done in LBS, you are privy to what is being done in economic planning, budget department, monitoring and evaluation department, and even development partnership department. So as an ambassador of Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, if you find yourself anywhere and anybody is seeking clarification on any of these departments, you'll be able to give your bit. And that has really assisted officers in embracing themselves with the operations of their ministry. Next slide, please. Light on. Or light on. So this is another reform. Please, you can read that because of our time. Let's go to the next slide, please. Also, this is better explanation of all the reforms. Light on, please move. Please move. So this is the success story of the 3 reforms. Now we have a strong support by government, head of service, and other top officials. Why? The reforms were taken to all the government apparatus for their buy-in. And to the glory of God, we got their support. And that is why the reforms are still sustainable till date. Also, the reform has helped us to have a realistic and up-to-date macro and microeconomic indices in budget size projection. Like I said, the budget size is not just determined by whatever anybody is saying, oh, last year we were able to generate 10 million. Next year, we should be able to generate 12 million. No. If you give that projection, it will be slotted into a model. And if model given the all economic indices says that you can only generate 7 million, it is that 7 million that will be taken and be collated with other agencies. So we have a realistic budget size projection. Another success story is that we have a broad-based consultation. And that is seen in what we are doing now in Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget. That is the first leg of our budget preparation. We have a stakeholders forum in different senatorial districts in Lagos State, where we gather needs assessments of our people. And the needs assessments are collated and shared among implementing agencies. And that will now become their budget. So the era of agencies of government sitting down in the comfort zone of their agencies and begin to dish out programs that will be later abandoned by citizens are gone. Another success story is that we've been able to deploy skilled and experienced personnel in running government projects. Also, we share goals, vision, mission, and civil servants now have free participation in budget process. We have also increased effective collaboration among agencies of government. Gradually, we are facing off this evil slogan of maintain your lane. You see agencies of government now collaborating. Also, we have increased compliance with international best practices on project implementation. Next slide, Lighton. And this takes me to year 2026 budget that was presented by our amiable governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The budget of year 2026 is tagged the budget of shared prosperity. And these are the major highlights. We can read that on our own because of our time. Please, next slide. Let's go to the real emphasis, that is the COFOG. I've explained that COFOG is classification of functions of government, and it is a standard international system that is used to categorize government activities and expenditure according to purpose. And the following are the importance of it. That is, it helps us in tracking spending, analyze effectiveness, that is, evaluate policy outcomes against cost, and help us to have informed decisions because we have enough data and better resource allocation. Next slide. So, like I said the other time, these are the 9 COFOG sectors adopted in Lagos State. We have the General Public Service, and under it are a list of agencies of government that are under that sector. We also have the Public Order and Safety. We have the Economic Affairs, Housing and Amenities, Environmental Protection, Recreation and Religion, Health, Education, and Social Protection. And we have agencies of government. So a lump sum envelope will be given to General Public Service. And General Public Service is expected to now further disaggregate the envelope among the listed agencies of government. And the same thing is expected of other 8 sectors. Next slide, please. And this is the explanation of how the disaggregation is. We have the first level where envelope will be given to the sector. Then the sector will now further disaggregate. You can see that box is now being scattered to sub-functional, that is agencies of government under it. Then the level 3, we further disaggregate. For example, we have the Ministry of Finance under General Public Service. Once that envelope is given to Ministry of Finance, it is expected that on level 2, Ministry of Finance will further disaggregate the lump sum envelope among the agencies of government under them. It will give finance itself, STO, debt management, taxation office, and it is now expected at the 3rd level that the Ministry of Finance itself now, as a ministry, further disaggregates the envelope given to it among the departments. That is the 3rd level. So in disaggregating this resource allocation, we have what we refer to as the champion meeting dynamics. During that particular meeting, where envelopes will be shared among the sectors, a lot usually go on in that meeting. Though we are not yet there, because it is expected to be a meeting where discussions will come up, agencies of government will participate, there will be like a facilitation, a technical expert will come up with input on frameworks, then stakeholders engagement, ensuring that you have the buy-in of all the agencies of government under that sector concerning the resource being disaggregated. Then you address challenges, that is, you try to solve problems among yourself under that sector. And that takes me to what we refer to as trade-off among agencies of government during the champions meeting. If we say that the focus of government will be delivered by a particular ministry, it is expected that other agencies of government under that sector trade off some amount to that ministry so that the focus of government will be achieved. Next slide, please. So for COFOG 2, we have strategic considerations. That is, when envelopes will be shared, we need to look critically into cross-cutting issues, duplication of duty. We need to have an holistic approach to interconnectedness of functions. Then we need to optimize resource allocation, then develop plans to address emerging issues and reduce waste in operation as much as possible. Next slide. Of importance is for us to be very creative and be innovative in doing all of that. That is what this slide is speaking to. Next slide, please. The following are the benefits of COFOG disaggregation. Unlike before, there have been a lot of allegation on MEPB. When agencies of government then that we are disaggregating to MDAs, this is the envelope MEP gave us. So, but now with the COFOG disaggregation, it has improved transparency, because during your COFOG champions meeting, highlights of how the disaggregation was done will have been explained by the sector champion. And that will inform a better decision making and enhance accountability. Once envelope is given to you, you must account for it. Next slide, please. And that takes us to the budget presented by our amiable governor. Next slide. It is important for us to have or to know where we are coming from if we are going somewhere. And that is why we have this slide. Since the inception of this administration, the following are the names given to our budgets. Their first year of administration, 2021, the budget of that year is tagged Rekindled Hope. And you will agree with me, like our amiable governor said, this administration budget is a deliberate progression from stability to reform and now to enduring prosperity. And you will see it in the names given to those budgets. We have for 2021, Rekindled Hope, 2022. Oh, sorry, I'm starting from down. 2020, budget of awakening. 2022, budget of consolidation. 2023, budget of continuity. 2024, budget of renewal. 2025, the one we are spending now is tagged budget of sustainability, and we plan to have budget of shared prosperity. Next slide. As at third quarter of this year's budget, the following are our performances. For total budget performance, we have 81% in the sum of 2.05 trillion. We've implemented programs and projects in that work. For recurrent expenditure, we have performance of 84% and a budget of 818 billion has been executed. For capital expenditure, we have a budget performance of 90% and a budget of 1.23 trillion has been executed. Next slide. So this is the budget, proposed budget of year 2026. The budget size is put at 4.237 trillion. And the total revenue expected from that proposed budget is in the tune of 3.994 trillion. And the disaggregation is what we have. IGR, we are expecting 3.120 trillion. We are expecting 874 billion from federal transfer. And we are expecting 243.33 billion from deficit financing. Now, from the total budget size, we have the following allocated to following lines. For capital expenditure, which is at the ratio of, that is the ratio of capital expenditure to recurrent expenditure for this proposed budget is put at 52:48. That is, for our capital expenditure, we'll be expending 2.185 trillion. For recurrent expenditure, we'll be expending 2.052 trillion. And our recurrent expenditure is further disaggregated into overhead, subvention, dedicated expenditure, and personnel cost, and receipt debt charges and debt repayment. So we have the amount that is allocated for those there. So this is the alignment of the COFOG with the proposed budget size. For each of the sector, the following amounts, you will further go and look at that critically, has been allocated to those sectors, with the highest going to economic affairs, followed by general public service, followed by health, education, environment, public order and safety, housing, social protection. Then the last but not the least is recreation and culture. So of importance is that when envelope is given to us, we allocate funds according to strategic pillars of the budget of the Lagos State Lagos State Development Plan, and that is the human-centric city, modern infrastructure, thriving economy, and effective governance. Next slide. So this is the further detail of how you can align your reforms to each of the strategic pillars. Next slide. And this is the full detail of each of the pillars, expectations for 2026 budget of each of the pillars. Please move on, light on. Next slide. For modern infrastructure, this is the expectation for thriving economy. That is the expectation. For effective governance, we are expecting a safety and security focus and digital reforms. Next slide. And that takes us to the challenges and limitations of COFOG. You will agree with me that, please go back to the previous slide, that for now, we are still experiencing complexity in terms of how the envelope should be shared in a scientific manner. And that needs a lot of technical expertise for implementation. I know we will get there. We are improving on a yearly basis. Also, we are still struggling with data quality. That is, having accurate revenue data, which is very, very essential, but often challenging to obtain. Also, there is also comparability of differences in classification because of cross-jurisdiction comparison. So those challenges are there. But I know the crop of officers that we have in Lagos State, we are committed, we are pragmatic, we are dedicated, and we are very creative and innovative. I know very soon we will surmount all these challenges. And that takes me to the conclusion. Next slide. And I want to conclude using the word of our dear governor, with unity of purpose. If we are disciplined and unwavering commitment to excellence, a greater Lagos rising is not just within reach, it is already unfolding before us. Yes or no? I know I will have a resounding yes.
Yes.
And on that note, I want to say thank you for your attention. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, àjùmọ̀ṣe ni. And àgbájọwọ́ la fi ń sọ̀yà o. Gbé Kemigbe. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you very
Ma.
much.
For your attention.
Okay, you can go ahead, Doctor.
Olaito, go on,
Hello.
please.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma, for this beautiful presentation tonight. It's such an eye-opener for everyone on the call. We're really grateful for this beautiful opportunity. Thank you so much for giving us this beautiful presentation. Over to you, Doctor.
Thank you, Mrs. Bangbola. Thank you so much. We really enjoyed your presentation, and then you've broken down budgets for us, especially from the COVOC angle, and that will also be educated on the budget of shared prosperity year 2026 budget estimate. Thank you so much. I'm double sure that we'll have one or two questions. We will not take more than one or two questions because of the time we have spent so far. And because of that, I want to also apologize for the network break in transmission. So we need to just take one or two questions so that we can go and prepare for tomorrow. Apart from people having an interview tomorrow, some majority will also need to go to offices. So we need to just take one or two questions. All right, now take over, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. Please, if you have questions, kindly drop your questions or raise up your hand so that we can quickly ask your question. Okay, so I see a question here. How is it possible? How possible is it for middle? Sorry, 1 minute. How is it possible? How is it possible for middle management officers be allowed to attend and learn in some of these meetings when envelopes are shared? Ma, did you get the question, Ma?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, Ma.
Let me say this. COFOG disaggregation meeting is a high-level meeting. And it is a meeting that we have heads of agencies in attendance. Commissioners are not in attendance. We have the PSCs, then we have directors in different departments in attendance. But I believe in service. I talked about community of practice as one of the reforms in Lagos State. I want to believe that there should be the trainer in your MDAs, that they will expose officers, middle-level officers, to what usually go on at the sector champions meeting. So for that particular officer, I'm presently in ministry, or I'm presently at the Office of Public-Private Partnerships. You can get in touch with me. I will explain to you the process that we normally go through when that meeting is organized. But in most cases, middle-level officers might not be allowed in such meetings. Thank you.
Thank you very much for answering that. Okay, so the person who asked the question has acknowledged that that question was very explanatory. Okay, so we don't have any other questions from the chat box, and I can't see anybody raising up their hands. So, Doctor, please, can you take over so that we can call it a day?
All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone. We will do the usual, our norms on this platform. I will unmute everyone so that we can sing our national anthem here. For she is a jolly good fellow. Mrs. Bangbola, thank you so much for what you have done for us today. Thank you for creating time to be on this platform to explain and to demystify budget. The three major policies in Lagos using COVOC, where we can get the 2026 budget implementation process. Thank you so much. So I've unmuted everyone. Let's just sing and appreciate Mrs. Bangbola. But don't forget that I said that we would do